Good morning, UC Davis. My name is Nueva. I'm a certified Iyengar yoga teacher. Today we'll be doing standing balancing poses. We'll be using the wall. So if you have a wall, that's fabulous. If you don't, no problem. We'll be using a chair. And if you have a belt, that would be great too. But again, if you don't have any props, just do the best you can. We're using these props today to take balance out of the question so we can really get a sense of flavor and fragrance of the standing balancing poses. And we can work our core without any fear of falling over. If you're not accustomed to practicing in this way, I invite you to come to this practice with an open mind. And I want to remind everyone that yoga is for all different types of bodies. So I will do my best in the time we have together to provide modifications. Come to an easy cross-legged position and sit tall. Bring the hands in front of you to Namaskar Mudra. Gently close the eyes and we'll begin practice together with 3 ohms. Keep the chest lifted. Gently release the head towards the heart. Lift the face. Release the back of the palms to the tops of the thighs and gently open your eyes. Come on up. And if you have a chair, bring it all the way to the wall. Any kind of chair will do, and put the back of the chair towards the wall. Come to a kneeling position on the mat, and I'm turned to the side so you can see clearly what I'm doing. I'm curling the toes under and sitting back down on my heels so that the soles of the feet are experiencing quite an opening. If the soles of your feet are really tight, it might be more comfortable to lean forwards. If it's absolutely unbearable, you can also place a blanket between the heels and the buttock bones. All of these are options for you. I can feel the plantar fascia of the bottom of my feet beginning to stretch out. Gently move yourself forwards. Place the hands on the seat of the chair and keeping the toes curled under, you'll separate the feet about hip width apart. Place the thumbs on the pan of the chair so that the thumbs face towards each other and the middle fingers press straight forward and the pinky stretch to the side. It'll look like this. Lift the buttocks high up to the ceiling. Come up onto the toe mounds, keeping the buttocks high. Lower the feet towards the floor. Lower the heels towards the floor. Press the hands into the chair as if you're going to push the wall over. Point the toes forwards and press the quadricep muscles towards the thigh bone. Press the quadricep muscles to the thigh bone to get a strong elongation of the spine. Lengthen the spine and open the backs of the legs. To come out of the pose, walk forwards, place the hands on the hips, and swing on up, leading from the tops of the shoulders. Our next pose is extended hands, extended feet, and I'm going to show it with the wall and the chair. And there's a couple variations that you'll see here. So there's all kinds of different ways to practice. If you've got a belt, it could be a belt for pants, it could be a yoga belt. Take that out too. And place the chair so the top part is about a leg's distance away. I'm giving it just a dry run. I can see the chair's going to need to come in a little bit forwards. Join the big toes together in Tadasana. However, if it's more comfortable for you to take the feet hip-width apart, I invite you to do that too. The back of the buttocks grazes the back of the wall so that balance is completely out of the question. You don't have to worry about it because there's nowhere to fall. Mountain pose. Left leg is straight, right leg's going to come up. So I really ask for the leg to be straight in this pose, extended hands, extended legs. So you can take the right foot up to the chair, to the seat of the chair, or you can take the foot all the way up to the top of the chair. Takes a minute to adjust to find that sweet spot. So the back of the buttocks grazes the wall. My shoulders are open, so I'm getting a strong vertical, horizontal opening of the chest. The standing leg toes point forwards, and the lifted legs point forwards. And if you have a strap, just place it over the arch of the extended right foot and bend the elbows so that the chest is open. Standing leg, point the toes forwards. Lifted leg, the toes point to the ceiling. Now, the same direction applies that we just had in downward facing dog. Cut the quadricep muscles in towards the bone, so you feel a real sense of compaction. So the top of the quadricep presses to the bone. Straight legs are really important in yoga. So if you need to take that foot lower to keep that straight leg, absolutely do so. Find that action of the quadricep pressing towards the bone on the standing leg. And I can feel that when my quadricep is pressing to the bone on the standing leg, I'm getting just a little bit higher. I'm getting a greater sense of height and verticality. Exhale, release. Tadasana, mountain pose. Left side, extended hands, extended legs. So the right leg is in Tadasana, mountain pose. Point the right toes forwards. On an exhalation, lift the left leg so that it's either extended on the chair seat, or you can have the option of bringing the left leg all the way up. Back of the buttocks grazes the wall. lasso that strap over the left arch. We're using the belt to get a sense of resistance so you can press into that arch to get a greater opening of the lifted leg. What's going on in this pose? Well, it's a standing bouncing pose, but we're using the wall to take the bounce totally out of the question. Standing leg, move the quadricep towards the bone. Get that lift. Find that quadricep action on the lifted left leg. Ascend to the crown of the head. That's it. Yes. So many different options to practice. Exhale, lower the left leg. And then we're going to turn around. So now we're going to take the chair so that the top of the chair faces the wall. And I've got just a little mat scrap to place over the top of the chair. You could use a blanket or a towel because it will make this pose just a little more comfortable. No worries if that's not an issue today. So if you have a strap with a belt buckle, take the strap and you'll make a loop. And that loop will be shoulder width apart. So for me, that's going to be right about here. Can you see how the belt is shoulder width apart on me? Now we're using the belt for our arms to help us straighten the elbows and get a sense of that vertical lift. If you don't have a belt handy, just let it go and do the pose without it. Mountain pose. Straighten the legs as if they were one unit. Take the sacrum and the tailbone deep into the body, and on an inhalation, lift the arms over the head. It can get a little funky with the belt. I've got to move it over my hair. Heels down, length through the sides of the waist. Lift the sides of the waist as if you were creating space between each and every rib. So get that sense of getting taller. Straighten the elbows best you can and lift up through the fingernails. Exhale, release. You can keep your belt on if you're using an actual yoga belt. I'm going to keep it on for the rest of the demonstration of the pose. I'm going to take the tail of the belt and just toss it over this way. So, extended hands, extended legs to the side. And again, we're using the chair and using the wall so we can experience the pose in a deeper way. Left leg is in mountain pose. On an exhalation, take the right leg out to the side with a bended knee. The right heel, if you were to draw an imaginary line, it would make a straight line across the top of the left arch, just like triangle pose. Then extend the right leg, place the heel on the chair, and place the entire sole of the right foot on the wall. And you can see I'm adjusting my standing leg so that my buttock and my ankle are right in line with each other. So if the leg is out here, you can see that I've lost that connection between the buttock and the heel, making one straight line. So you've got to self-adjust. Point the left toes forward on the standing leg And bring your attention to the center of the left quadricep. Cut the center of that left quadricep in towards the thigh bone. Yeah, just like we did in the pose before. And see if you can feel yourself get taller. And press the sole of the right foot into the wall. Inhale, take the arms overhead for extended arms, extended legs to the side. I know it can be a little funky with the strap and the hair, but we're using that strap to straighten the arms and get a greater sense of height and lift. Exhale, release. That's it. Bring the right leg to the seat of the chair and come on back into mountain pose. So for those of you who are practicing at home, feel free to do this pose again on the second side before you turn around and go to the left. So I'm going to turn my back towards you to bring the left side of my body up, and we'll focus on the same directions. The standing leg toes face straight forwards, and the middle of the thigh of the standing leg cuts back towards the bone to get a real sense of compaction. And we'll look for that on both the standing leg and the lifted leg. Extended hands, extended legs, using the wall and the chair. Let's turn around and bring the left leg up. Mountain pose. Bring the left leg so that the heel is in alignment with the right arch. If you're using the belt, put it right above the elbow joint. On an inhalation, lift the left leg and lift it to a height where the leg is straight. Adjust the standing leg. You can see that I just did it so that on my standing leg, the hip and the buttock is right over the ankle bone. Make the best Tadasana you can before you even bring the arms up. Dig the heel down, center of the quadricep. Strongly press it to the thigh bone. Press the standing foot into the floor and the lifted foot into the wall. Inhale, take the arms overhead. I know the strap can look kind of funky, kind of nerdy. Lift the arms up. Exhale, release. On an exhalation, lower the left foot down and join the feet into mountain pose. Keep the chair at the wall, and we'll take another supported, sort of a cross between a forward bend and a downward facing dog, just like we did on our second pose together. Come to a kneeling position. You can always place a towel or a blanket underneath the knees for this moment. Place the hands on the seat of the chair, feet hip width apart. Come up onto the toe mounds so the toes are anchored to the floor, just like we did in the toe curl. Inhale, lift the buttocks up. Keep the buttocks high. Lower the heels down. Take a moment to feel this pose. So we've learned 3 actions today that apply in all of the poses. Toes forwards, quadriceps back, and straight legs wherever you are. Keep the head in alignment with the ears. To come out of the pose, walk forwards, hands to the hips, and swing on up. Let's do a standing twist at the wall. I've moved the chair all the way to the wall. Again, follow along, and if a chair is not available to you, then modify as you can. So standing twists at the wall are great because they access parts of the back that we don't ordinarily use. And so if you've been sitting a lot at your desk, this should really help. So stand about 3 or 4 inches from the wall in mountain pose. On an inhalation, lift your right leg up to the chair. I'm going to remove the chair mat so you can see my leg more clearly. And you can see that the knee and the ankle are right above each other. Arms to the side. Toes forwards, quadricep back, quadriceps to the bone. And on an exhalation, you'll twist to the right and place the palms about right in front of the chest. Keep the integrity of mountain pose in the standing leg, and the twist is going to come from the middle back. So no twist starting from the lower back. It's all from the middle back, right around the bra line. That's it. Press the hands into the wall. Lift and get tall, turn from the middle back, turn from the middle back, and look on out over to the right. Exhale, release. Let's do that one more time together. Hands in front of the chest, strong Tadasana leg. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, turn from the middle back. Gently, you can either look forwards, or if it's available to you, look on out over your right shoulder. Exhale, come on forwards. Standing twist at the wall with the left foot up. So this time, I'm going to turn the chair so I can put my left leg up. So I'll be turning away from all of you. Stand about 3 or 4 inches from the wall. It could be a little more, it could be a little less for each and every person. Lift the left foot up, left ankle, left knee. Point the right toes forwards. Move that quadricep to the bone and get tall before we even come into the twist. Twisting towards the left, place the entire palm of the hand on the wall. Find your mountain pose first on the standing leg. Get tall. Then, gently twist towards the left. If your neck bothers you, keep looking forwards. If it's available to you, you can look out over the left shoulder. Exhale, release. Foot down, yes. Let's do that one more time with the left leg bent on the chair. Strong mountain pose. Hands in front of the chest. Lots of height in your mountain pose. You can stay right here, or you can take the turn. Take the turn. Looking out over the left shoulder. That's it. Exhale, release. Take the feet back into mountain pose. Move the chair off your mat. Downward facing dog. Take the hands now all the way lower to the wall, or if you are more comfortable bringing the hands up on the chair, that's an option too. You'll see that I'm going to place my thumb and my index finger on the wall like I'm framing a picture, like that, and there'll be space between my fingers. Come on up. Buttocks high, toes anchored under. Take a nice long stance. Maybe the heels don't come down as far when you go wider, that's okay. We're looking to get length in the spine. Exhale, release. Sit down on the heels. So BKS Iyengar is one of the great innovators of yoga and great systematizers of yoga of the 20th century. And I want to share a quote from him today before we go into our next pose. And we'll see how that applies in every pose we do for the rest of our practice. Total extension brings total relaxation. Let's see how this comes into play. Half boat pose, and I'm going to show it with the support of the wall first. I have my legs extended in front of me, heels at the wall, and my hands are by my hips. I'm going to place the soles of my feet on the mat and scooch the buttocks closer in towards the wall, keeping my hands by my hips. On an exhalation, I'm placing the soles of the feet on the wall. And you can see that my calves are parallel to the floor. So I'm not bringing them up here, I'm not bringing them down here. It's a straight up half boat pose. And I'm using the arms. The arms are my props here, yeah? The arms are my props so I can keep the chest lifted and keep my abdomen moving back towards the spine. Half boat pose. Exhale, release. I'm going to show half boat pose another way, turning away from the wall. Total extension brings total relaxation. So when we're really extending the spine, extending the legs, this facilitates our complete absorption in the pose. Turn yourself away from the wall. Extend the legs in front of you for half boat pose. Half is Ardha. Boat pose is Navasana. Ardha Navasana. Hands to the sides of the hips. And half boat pose is a balancing pose too, because you're balancing on the sit bones. On an exhalation, bring the toe mounds in towards the buttocks. Keep using those arms like props to keep the chest lifted. Don't let that middle back sag. Haul it up using those arms. That's it. Exhale. Legs bent, calves towards the floor. Legs bent, calves parallel to the floor. Balance on the sitting bones. If available to you, extend the arms. Extend the arms, arms straight. They're like your oars. Keep that middle back lifted. Exhale, release. Half boat pose. Let's do half boat pose again. So we're using the arms to keep the spine lifted and keep the chest lifted. And this is often this often happens in boat pose where the middle back rounds and the middle back sinks. So keep your attention strong, and if you feel that, use the arms to lift that middle back in to keep it up, to keep it lifted up. because it's working with the pose in that way that's going to create great change for you. We're looking to experience yoga to create transformation, inner and outer, not just to kind of like get through a practice. So stay with me and keep your attention aware. Legs in front, hands to the sides of the hips. That's it. Middle back lifted, middle back lifted. That's it. Exhale, lower the legs down. So now we're going to look at full boat pose. If you've got a strap or something like it handy, take it out. If not, no worries. And for all of you fun yoga-loving nerds, full boat pose is Paripurna. Paripurna Navasana. Paripurna is full and Navasana is boat. Extend the legs out in front of you, hands to the sides. And I'll show you what the pose looks like. Everything from our half boat pose applies. So all of the above. I'm going to take my strap, lasso it over the arches of the feet. I'm keeping the arms bent so that my chest and middle back is lifted. Half boat pose. Once I'm comfortable here, then I can look at lifting the legs. Abdomen to the spine. I can lasso the belt so I can take my legs up higher if that's available, and potentially straighten my arms. Exhale, release. So we're talking about attention. We're balancing on the sit bones, which you have to direct your attention deep inside yourself to find where those bones are, but they're underneath the buttocks. Keeping the middle back lifted, and we're going to straighten the legs. 3 things, okay? Or you can stay at half boat pose on the wall, or half boat pose away from the wall. Let's do it. Paripurna Navasana. Bend the legs. Lasso the belt over the arches of the feet. Balance on top of the sit bones. Keep the middle back lifted. Half boat. Straight legs, full boat. Be aware of your breathing here. No need to change or mess with it. Just simply stay aware in the pose. Exhale, release. One more Paripurna Navasana if you got it in you. I know you do. Or Ardha Navasana. Half boat. Full boat. Where is the total extension? Where is the relaxation, even in a challenging pose? Total extension. I can feel my spine lifting all the way from the root of the sacrum. I'm extending my legs out through the heels, out into infinity, and the center of my thighs is still pressing down. So that same action applies in full boat. Exhale, release. Extend the legs out in front of you. You got it. Come to an easy seated position. Take some height. Take enough height so that the knees are in line with the hip bones. So if you're sitting so that the knees are way up here, when we take height, it gives the knees the ability to release. Roll the buttock flesh out from side to side so that you feel the buttock bones squarely on top of your height, if in fact that's what you've chosen to do today. I'm mirroring you, so you'll have your right leg crossed in the middle of the shin. Scooch the feet in so that you're on the sides of the feet and the soles of the feet are facing the opposite walls. What do you need to do to keep the soles of the feet alive so you feel like you're shooting like light rays out of the soles of your feet? Inhale, take your arms up. Earlier we used the strap so we could get the elbows straight and get that lifted quality of the sides of the waist into the spine. I'm mirroring you. Twist to the right. Straighten the left arm. Left palm, right knee. Gentle twist to the right. Come on forwards to the center. Inhale, take the arms up. Exhale to the left. Turning from the middle back. Straight right arm. Right palm, left knee. Exhale, relax. So easy cross-legged position is really a four-sided position. So we'll extend the legs in front. This time the left foot, the left shin will cross the right in the middle. And you'll see that to the best of my ability, I'm moving the sides of my feet so they're moving towards underneath my knees. I'm on the knife edge of the feet and the soles face the opposite wall. Make the soles of the feet alive as if you had light rays emanating from them. Release the knees towards the floor. Are you feeling that slump? If you are, draw your awareness to the middle back. Keep it lifted. Lift the arms up. Palms face the ears. Exhale, turn to the right. Come to center. Inhale. Turn to the left. Exhale, back to center. So I'm going to show a variation of Shavasana, and it's a variation of Viparita Karani. That's the Sanskrit name for the variation of Shavasana that we're going to do today. Viparita Karani means inverted waterfall, and it's a great pose to do anytime. Certainly a pose to have in your yoga toolbox. And this pose can be a standalone in the middle of your workday. Sometimes I do it like if I'm on a break for 5 minutes. It really helps during my work at home time. So I've got 2 blankets and I'm placing one of the blankets over the chair pan because my calves are going to get cold on the cold chair pan. That's the reason for the blanket. And I've got the chair, so the top of the chair is all the way flush up against the wall. I have a second blanket, and you could use a towel, and this is to support the back of my head. And the second blanket is going to come just like so that the blunt edge comes all the way up to the tips of my shoulders. Viparita Karani. You could stay here for 1 minute. You could stay here for 10. It's your choice. So before we come into our final relaxing pose together, let's take in that quote from BKS Iyengar one more time. Total extension brings total relaxation. We've really extended the spine today. We've extended through the sides of the waist, and we've extended through the legs. We've not only extended up and down, but we even extended front to back, with the front of the thigh moving towards the bone. How does all that extension come into play when we come into relaxation? You're the living laboratory to yourself, so you get to find that out. Yoga is a beautiful path of inquiry. So sit in front of the chair, gently lower yourself down, and place the entire back of the calf from the back of the knee joint to the ankle on the chair. If you're tall, you might need more height, so be aware of that. Lift the buttocks up and scoop the buttocks flesh away from the lower back to create space. It's a great direction for those of you who have lower back issues. Arms to the sides. Let the fingertips really curl so that the center of the palm is soft. You can also separate the feet hip width apart. Your choice here. Gently close the eyes from top to bottom. Draw the attention inwards. Draw the senses away from the outside world as you feel the eyes in their sockets be heavy. Let the bottom jaw release from the top and place the tip of the tongue behind the bottom teeth so that the tongue is relaxed and slack. Let go and relax. Let the sacrum be heavy on the floor and release any doing, any sense of doing of the calves. The calves are completely supported on the back of the chair. Find that sense of width and opening across the chest, taking you to a deep and luminous space within. Stay here as long as you need to. I will show you how to get out of the pose safely and slowly. On an exhalation, bring the legs towards the chest, roll to the right side. Cradle the right head and the right arm, and use the left arm to push you on up to a seated position. I'm turning to face you and sitting up on my blanket height. Find that easy cross-legged position that we did earlier. Hands in front of the chest. Lift through the spine. Keep the sternum lifted and keep the eyes parallel to the floor, yet soft. Gently bow the head to the heart. Inhale, look up. Slowly open the eyes. Thank you for practicing standing balancing poses today with the wall, with the chair, if that was available to you. And what is your experience of the quote from BKS Iyengar? Total extension brings total relaxation. This is UC Davis, Living Fit Forever. It's been wonderful to practice with you. Thank you so much. And again, my name is Nueva. Bye for now.